It may be hard to live up to one of the best sci-fi video game series of all time, but there are other contenders out there. This video is for everyone who enjoyed Mass Effect and want more, or for people who wanted something similar but a bit different. When we look for games that are similar to Mass Effect, we need to be on the lookout for a few things. A strong story and/or narrative, third-person combat, and interesting character interactions. Here are some games that fit the bill. Knights of the Old Republic was the precursor to Mass Effect, but that doesn't mean it's a worse game, or not worth going back to. It's one of the games that gave BioWare its following to begin with, and for good reason. At the time, there were very few games that delved into space opera themes with any great success, and Knights of the Old Republic's system of character interaction was innovative. It also spawned a few sequels, both made by different development studios. Knights of the Old Republic 2 was made by Obsidian, the same studio that would later make the sequel to Neverwinter Nights. The Old Republic by BioWare Austin is in a different genre, but carries some of the same interesting character interactions and strong story of the original. Depending on your personal taste, all of these are worth looking into if you're looking for something similar to Mass Effect. Though, if you're looking for a third-person shooter, these may not be the games for you. Another game I would add that was also done by BioWare themselves is Jade Empire. This takes the formula that was set up by Knights of the Old Republic and sets it in a unique Chinese-influenced world. It has an interesting martial arts style combat, and your choices will reflect two different philosophies, the way of the open palm and the way of the closed fist. You'll still have the fun and compelling character interactions that are very BioWare, but this game is set in a world that you don't often see in video games. This uniqueness makes it worthwhile to play, even if the game does show a bit of its age. Don't worry, for those of you that are more interested in third-person shooter-style combat, there are plenty of titles for you. Alpha Protocol is a third-person shooter and RPG by Obsidian Entertainment. It's very much an espionage RPG, which means you'll spend a lot of time in stealth as well as shooting people in the face. But that's not all there is to it. The interaction with characters is actually pretty similar to Mass Effect. As you move through the story, you'll be talking to different recurring characters and delving into relationships with these characters. There are also a lot of choices that you'll make that affect the story and characters in different ways. Some people think that the combat sections aren't that great, but the part of the game you'll love is the story and characters, so even if you don't enjoy the other parts as much, there is something worth checking this game out for. Deus Ex Human Revolution is a game in a similar vein to Alpha Protocol. You can spend a lot of time hiding in third person and going from objective to objective in stealth, or you can go in guns blazing and fuck some shit up. But what makes this similar to Mass Effect, and a strong game, is the setting, the story, and the characters that you meet along the way. This is a modern sci-fi game set in the not-too-distant future. It touches on some themes that don't seem too far-fetched, such as human augmentations. There are also choices that you'll make in the game that have some dire consequences for the future of humanity. This is a very solid game in its own right, which makes sense considering it's in one of the most cherished franchises in gaming. If you're looking for a solid story, mixed with good third-person combat, you could do much worse than Deus Ex. Horizon Zero Dawn is the newest game on this list, and one of the best games on PS4. It has a similar style to Mass Effect in its character interactions and themes. Instead of searching through the mysteries of an ancient alien civilization, you'll be searching through the mysteries of human civilization, as the game is set far in the future, 1,000 years past the end of humanity as we know it. Horizon is an interesting mix of sci-fi and ancient tribal themes. Humanity had to start over, but there are still traces of the civilization that came before it, including robotic creatures of all shapes and sizes. If you're looking for a combination of really good combat and good storytelling, this is a game you should check out. As usual, there are plenty of other games that are also similar, but this should be a good place for you to start. Many of these games are made by developers whose other games you should check out as well, especially Obsidian, as they've come out with many different titles of very high quality. So I'll leave you to it. Good luck and happy hunting. This has been games like Mass Effect, and I'm Melchiorus from Game Clouds. Have a good night, friends.